Hello, this is Dead Hamster, and today we're going to actually take a look. I'm going to be designing a new course. I'm going to call this one Toad Village. A lot of mushrooms and things of that nature. It's going to be more rural, a lot of hills, a lot of vertical sections to the course. So I just started designing it, and I figured, well, I might as well just record it as well. So we're going to go ahead and click over to here. I just want to check if there's better position. No, there's nothing important in that top left area. But just to get me out of the way, let's go ahead and, no, wrong one. Alright, so like I was mentioning before, I've already started looking at some of the objects here. We have toad houses. One of the faces has a door texture, whereas the other ones do not. I could have probably gotten away with using the same texture and just using the top half and maybe mirroring it, but it's one more texture and I'm really not too concerned about it at this point. For the roadway, what I usually do is begin just making a single plane with a size of 100, so I know for certain that the course is scaled properly. And then from there, I will take the edge on that and extrude it. The easiest way is holding Shift and click dragging. When you extrude an edge, it actually well, this actually isn't extruding. What is it doing? It's cloning, I guess. But when you clone the an edge and drag it out, it in effect stretches and extrudes to a new shape. So it's real nice to be able to just extrude a few of those, and then once you get, say, a bunch like this, to then just rotate and create new paths as such. Take any verts. I usually keep it somewhere around 5 and then just weld those as you go across. Once you create one turn sequence, in this case I used a snap angle of 15 and created, what is it, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns, trying to balance them out. Once you do this one time, you can clone this and then use that again and again whenever you need to make another turn. So don't kill yourself and make a whole bunch of these if you don't necessarily need to. So for this, I might want to get rid of this one, drop this in here, snap these together. Good. And I actually want these to begin going downhill as well. So we're gonna no, actually. There, perfect. So for right now, the only thing that I'm going to focus on is the actual track itself. Later on, I'll worry about connecting grass and cliff sides and everything else to prevent the player from moving around the course. You can tell I have a general idea with the toads up here, or the mushrooms rather, what I'm kind of trying to work with. But for the most part, when I'm designing a course from scratch and I'm not using pre-existing geometry, my first focus is the actual roadway, or rather the player area. And that's with any level design, anything that you make. You need to focus on the player area first and where the player is going to interact and enclosing that and encapsulating that and making that work. And then from there you can work on the extra parts, so to speak, that the player doesn't necessarily either need to go to or isn't able to go to if they are blocked by either some type of invisible occluding geometry or if it's just out of bounds like for Mario Kart. So again, the main focus in the beginning always has to be on the player interaction, and when they're not exploring, and they're playing this game as intended, what are they going to be coming across? And that's definitely always the focus when you're designing something. Of course, the player is going to wander off eventually, but the hope is that they're going to at least play through your game one time the way you want them to. So I actually want to have a little bit more depth to this hill, so I'm going to drag this back a bit. Oh goodness. So I can scale along the x-axis to shore those two up. Make sure that they're clean. Man, oh, okay, the z-axis too. I was going to say, they don't look it though. It looked good from the top view. But alright, so heading back to this then. This probably needs to be cleaned up as well. No, it's fine. It doesn't quite look it, but I'll take your word, I suppose. I don't know. Either way then. Want a more dramatic hill, something there. That's why I really did just need more verts on it. Still looks crooked, but it just must be the perspective. Playing tricks on my eyes. Alright, so from there, I'm actually going to go ahead and extrude. It'll be easier to build the hill. Now we'll want to mellow it out a bit. And it shallows out as it comes to a close. So I guess from here I do want to take a, just keep making rights. Gotta clone these, rotate at 90 degrees. Drop it right on point. So I don't really want this to do that. In fact, even better. I'm going to detach this to an element. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees, or 180 rather. And then we're going to move it like that. That's fine. So we are going to make it a little bit less obvious so that it still stays underneath the other track. But this at least gives us some of the height that we need to get back to get to the starting line, so that it's not so dramatic after the next turn. So obviously I'm going to go for a some type of design like that. So we need to get some of that height back before we, I think that's probably enough. So we'll need some kind of cliff here that drops down, that keeps a different level from this to the rest of the lower track here. And then that cliff will extend, and this will go through it up on the other end. This will be some kind of dirt path that will go through the cliff side. We'll have to punch a hole in the track. So pretty similar, I guess, to the Mushroom Valley course design. This one will be a little bit smaller, I think, overall. Either way, though, going to continue from here. Alright, so making that straight, so as you come up, you'll just kind of gradually approach and then taper off at the end as you come around for the next turn. So trying to decide, I guess, how I want to come up on the end. Still need to get a little bit of height back, so I suppose I should start climbing now. I haven't made one yet. So. Oh, hey. Still a lot of ground to cover. But that's okay. I actually kind of want to do something a little funny here. Alright, so then we're going to come up here and make a sharp U-turn at the very end, and that's going to bring us back home to the starting line. So we're going to delete these, take these, duplicate them. That gives us some really nice consistent turns throughout the entire course. And now we just bring this back home to here. Turn off my angle snap so I can get just a little tweak on those. That looks like that should be enough to bring this over. And there we go. Just like that, we have the course itself. So, fairly standard looking race. Now we need to actually, like I was saying before, add some reality to it. So it's going to be easier if we can actually see the edges on everything. Take these, drag them down. No, I guess not. But that's okay anyway. We need a little bit more. I don't want that. So take these and drag them down. We'll start creating our cliff face here. We're going to end up coming back to that polygon there. We do need to drop the height a little bit on the cliff. Easiest way, instead of trying to gradually, because we're going to end up building faces in here, instead of trying to gradually drop it, we'll just drop it at the end and have a few faces that are distorted because of it. Not distorted, just rotated. So there's a nice cliff side. We don't need to do anything else but that. That's good enough, honestly. Same thing over here. We'll actually even do less and do the same thing. Come out. This one might even be a little bit longer. This will probably end up being the outside boundaries of the level as well. So we'll continue it around like this. And here it's going to have to come back in, right? Right into there. Oh, that's trippy to look at right now, but it'll make more sense once the grass is there. It'll slowly come downhill here. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, crap. Alright, so I guess I need to also So how do I want to do that then? Is that just going to be a drop? Or do I want another cliff? The other cliff makes sense. I just have to change how I'm looking at it. There we go. So it took me a little bit to figure out what I was doing and what I wanted to do there. I definitely had mixed up when I built that out. So this makes a lot more sense. And we just need to now take these and drag these out here. We're gonna do this right away. Drag this back here. Crap. Always turn on backface cull before you start doing everything. Alright, looks like not too much was screwed up. Very, very good. Alright, so that again hopefully makes a little bit more sense than it did just a minute ago. Need to drag down this now. There's that. Need to stop doing that. drag it down so I can grab all of the verts. We're going to flatten the verts so that they all come together real nice and pretty, and then drag them back up to create a small little cliff that you're going to drive up perilous. And that'll mesh good with the bridge coming in probably, or maybe not, I don't know. Move it up a bit more, now it will. Don't know why I didn't do that on the outside. I'm just going to connect grass out on the outside, that's what we're going to do. Always nice to get, oh, we're still loving this polygon count right now. Won't be for long, but I'm loving it right now. Oh man, how far do I want to push this? I'm about to build out this grass layer here. I figure about that should be good. What? Yeah, that's the button. Nope, that's not it. Definitely that. Nope, I got a tricky one. So they're all going to go up. Alright, fine. Scale way out, and then go down. Now what do you got to say, huh? Oh gosh darn thing. Okay, I can fix that later. Most of it at least. You I cannot fix. You are very, very broken. There we go. So I don't need all these extra verts out here. I'm gonna crunch a bunch of them together. And now that I got it down to 2, I'll drag them back out. I don't like how all of those are going to the same, so I'm going to flip a few to get a few more. Ooh, well, that's not what I want either, though. Jesus. There we go. Even out the polygons a bit. Alright, anyway. Oh, wow, that wasn't even close. What is this at again? 243, so I should have left it there. So for this, because I am trying to save a little bit here, drop this to 243. $241. I'm going to allow it to intersect here. I really don't like doing that, but for this game it seems to be fine. Do the same thing here as well. What we'll do again, extend this way out. Like so. Try to even the polygons so we don't have UV errors later. These I'm not going to need, although I should have not done that. And these are all going to end up being out of bounds, so the player won't be able to drive out that way. And we'll even take it a step further. Pull them up like that. And then this I'll actually drag back in to block the player's view. So they won't be able to get out past there. All they'll see over the horizon is the idea of a mountainscape, or at least a grassy hill. Alright, so continuing on. The inside of this. That's right, we dropped it all. So in theory, that should be fine. I just need to drag this out here. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and chop my way through God damn it. Yeah. Suppose that would make sense. It's 100 units. Alright, so not pretty, but gets the job done. I'm not really too concerned. If I wanted to really go a little crazy, I could take these 4, maybe scale them in a bit to at least give it a bit of a trapezoidal look. Maybe drop them down a bit too so it's not so tall. That's a bit better. But again, I'm really not too concerned about how the cutout looks for the road. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, putting these faces back together. I need to do something with the where'd you go? Did I not make a new face? No, I didn't. It's weird. There. I don't know why that didn't work the last time. Weird. So we're just building something to drop down, and we're going to go this way a bit as well to go into the wall. It's just to, because of the way, again, we cheated the not even that is good. Okay, that's fine. It's still a lot less triangles than if we'd done it legitimately. So drop that too. Okay, moving on. So that gets us this whole section here, which is pretty good. So I've got quite a bit to do. What is up to 590 face polys. All right. All right. That makes a nice outside corner for when you're coming up and going around. So now this can all still be a section that is in bounds before the hillside that is out of bounds. Kidding me. Yeah, don't screw that up. Surprised. Ew, I don't like that. I forget that it does that. God, I hate that it does that. It doesn't show the edges because I made them all at once. It's very annoying. I'm sure there's some way to fix that, but I don't know it. Alright, that's better. Okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so definitely starting to take more shape now. I'm going to have to close up this in a bit, but I'm more worried about this outside and getting good closure on that. So I suppose here this would be the easiest way. We can pop that like this. And these should slowly be getting further out. Good. So close this up. And then this becomes the new. Actually, need to move this over more. Need to move all of these over more, really. Alright, so I think an easier way of wrapping this up is going to be to drag these up and out. And just kind of extend this back and drop this vert inwards. So if anyone's here, they won't see nothing. Good. Still under 700 polygons. I have a lot still to draw, and I'd like to put some more of those toad houses down here. But yeah, definitely off to a good start, I would feel. I'm cheating a lot more with this course than I have in the past. I really don't like doing these things. I spent a lot of time modeling with a different video game, and they that game was very strict because of the physics it had with the with the way that you could build objects, and these types of things were strictly forbidden. It would cause all sorts of errors. You wouldn't be able to even compile the level, but if you forced it to compile it by bypassing those errors, all sorts of issues with the way that the character and the objects would interact with the environment. So it's funny because we would often take things from older video games and you have to fix all of those errors, all the things that they did, all the cheats, all the non-colliding or non-intersecting, non-connected geometry, all the intersecting, non-colliding geometry. You have to fix and recreate. So it's very awkward doing the exact opposite and making all of those things broken now. Definitely a little weird to get used to. I don't like that either. I don't like that either. This I do like. Good enough. These I need to bring straight up to block the player from cheating, or at least try to block the player from cheating. So we're going to drag them up, the same thing as before, flatten them out. Wow, that works so well. Drag them up, flatten them out. That should do it. I imagine that'll keep them at bay. Now we have this to draw from. So. Try to keep my topology as clean as I can, even with geometry, with level design and things. With character design, it's absolutely imperative that if you have a high poly character, that you have good topology. You want all quadrilaterals that are evenly spaced. Not as important with inanimate objects like this, especially again with no real collision physics running. I mean, Mario Kart has it, but it doesn't at the same time. It really doesn't. I'll go ahead and weld everything on a 5. Alright. So definitely really starting to take shape now. You can see a lot of the level design. It really feels a lot more whole. You know, I'm gonna cheat again. I kind of like how it feels to get away with that. So, well, how many? Let me see what I want to do. I want to do something simple, like that. if I do that, and you'll never know. I mean, you would if it looks like that. Good. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Well, shoot. I guess I can't do that. Oh well. Cheaters never prosper. You gotta do it right. Yeah, I guess I did do that wrong. There we go. Coronavirus. I'm not supposed to be touching my face. It's a terrible habit. I've probably been touching my face this entire video. It's amazing how quickly the world fell apart. Which one's starting to flip? We'll just delete. One, two. I don't want this drop to blend in with the grass. I want it to be a cliff that comes down. So we're going to select all of these on each side. We're going to drop those down. Scale them even and place them right here at 261, 903. Perfect, and that gives us well there. Now we just need to connect the dots. Alright. So close up this here. Still in create. Good. Very good, very good. It's still in total, under 1,000. I think we'll probably keep it under 1,000 triangles by the time this is all wrapped up. I don't imagine us going over that. We'll see. It might be just over, but 1,000 sounds about right for this. I might want to throw a few more of these in, so I might end up, excuse me, might end up going over it. We'll see. Depends on how detailed I want to get, I suppose. Speaking of which, let's close this up. I can tell already I'll probably have to split those. Those are going to be too long. So use editable poly to do some funny stuff right now. Or what, 0.-1 roughly. All right. Good, good enough. So from here I can directly edit the topology of everything, which is fantastic. There is a limit to the number of, or rather the tiling on the UVs. So if you have excessively large triangles, you can't tile a bitmap across them again and again and again like you can in modern engines. They use a 16-bit integer to store the ST texture coordinates, and that quickly overflows when you try to store something too large. So I don't know the exact number of repeats you get, but it's not very many, which is why it's better to break up a triangle like this into smaller pieces. Also gives me the ability to do a bit better for this corner. Oh goodness, I didn't even grab that. I will in a minute. I'll get it. I'll fix it. There we go. Go. So these three we're also gonna get rid of. Wrong button, so that we can just draw these straight to the center. I'm not gonna do that either. Do this whole thing differently. I think that's what I did in the other one as well. Oh, well, that was a U-turn, so it's a little different, but same concept, right? Well, no, it's not, because I can go straight across. That's good enough. That's the only one I don't like are these little triangles, but they'll be fine. They're big enough. Awkward, but they're fine. What the hell? I must have revert there. Damn it. No, that's just silly. And just finishing this section here. I'll probably bring the cliff bottom up because it seems to be a little bit low. What is going on with these snaps? Driving me absolutely crazy. I'm gonna turn them up. I don't know what they're set to, but what the? No wonder. Big old dots, dots I can see. Still doing it to me. So we're just about finished with the actual geometry here, as you can see. Only part left is this little bit down here. I'm going to run that in right now. Let me see it. Aha, gotcha. Okay, there we go. So you can see the general layout. Everything now has been built from any angle inside the course. You won't really be able to see outside or anything from the exterior. We kept it almost under, because I know I'm going to go over once I start copying these. Yeah, already over. So we'll probably be around 1200 all said and done. So we have these here. And then going to move around, of course. Turn the face, there we go. I can actually see what I'm working with. You know what? Maybe some of these are a little bit larger. Big toad house right here, right? And a bigger one here. Who would live on a hill like this? one last one right here. So right about 1200. I could probably trim a few off, but I'm not going to. This is fine. I'm not going to be rendering all 1200 at the same time with how the section views work. And there's enough occluding geometry that I can block off a lot of these, especially, I mean, each of these are what, 40 faces each, so every time I can knock one or two of these off, I mean, that's a significant drop in triangle counts, so not too concerned. It looks pretty good. So this here, that doesn't look good. Let's drop these. So all these values are going to be rounded. I cannot use floating point integers for, again, same as the S and T coordinates. They're stored with, are all of these that? Yeah, wow, what is... So they all get rounded to whole values, but for now, I'm going to keep them as close as I can so that when they round, they round to the same thing. There we go. Try to even that out a bit. Might even drop that a little. Because I don't have any tessellation to that triangle, I really can't get away with much, as you see there. So realistically, I can't even use two. What is this? Very good guess. Not so much. Oh, don't do that. Good. Very good. Alright, anyway, I'm not paying attention here. I'm actually going to take a small break. You guys won't notice. I'm just going to hit the pause button. But come back, start doing the materials on this, and put the rest of the level together, make it look good. So I'm going to take a quick pause and be back in just a moment.